Now, with each muscle group that we work out, we want to try and work the muscle from every possible angle that muscle attaches to the body. As you saw with back, we did a pull down, we did a form of a row, and then you should always add one in, a seated row, to work the muscle from every line of pull. And as we mentioned with the back, there's many different muscle complexes in the back. With the chest, there's two major muscle groups. We have the upper and lower portion of the pectoral attaching to the clavicle and the sternum. So it's like a fan of muscle over the chest plate. How are the movements different from each of the chest exercises? Well, basically we have a pressing movement and a flying movement. So we've done a pressing movement with the cable incline. Now we're going to add a cable fly in to work that fly movement. And you're going to see the difference in the muscle groups being worked. With this one, we're going to focus on the outer portion of the chest here, as well as working on developing and adding definition to the inner part of the chest. This is also a great exercise for the shoulders, and believe it or not, core, because you need to engage the core muscle groups a lot to keep yourself steady. Let me show you how to do it. Now, the first thing is to make sure you're even with the weight. So at arm's length, step back and just feel if you're putting more on one side. Some of the gyms have handles at the top on this cable pulley here, so I just need to make sure that I'm in between those. Then I'm going to take a step forwards, keeping one leg back with my heel raised up as support, leaning my upper torso in forwards but keeping my chest raised up. Slightly bend the elbows but keep them flexed. I'm not going to lock out my arms, they're soft throughout the range of movement. Nice big deep breath, and as I breathe out, wrap my arms round in a hugging movement until my wrists meet in line with my chest. Look. Right, how can we manipulate that exercise? How can we vary it? Well, other than moving the height of the cable pulley up or down to work a different angle, if you're doing 3 sets of these, one example would be to start off high, working more of the upper portion of the chest, coming down to a mid height, just about shoulder height, keeping the arms again in line with the chest, okay? The sternum, your wrists and your sternum need to be in line. So if you're coming down or up, just angle your torso accordingly. And the final set you could do with the cables at the bottom, bringing them up, which will work much more of the lower portion of the chest. Now, the variation I'm going to add in is to change the angle of my body. At the moment, I'm like this. With every height of the cable, I'm always going to have my body in an upright position. The change I'm going to add in is to bend at the hips so that my chest is far lower to the ground and bring the movement under my body. Now, you'll see the difference this makes in the chest as I lift the weight. First thing I'm going to change is, instead of taking a step forwards, I'm actually going to take a step back. Take my width a little bit further apart, about shoulder width, and flex at the hips. Therefore, I am in a sturdy position and the center of my chest will be in line with the cable pull. Same movement. The main difference is working against gravity. I have a lot more muscular contraction in the center of my chest. So a great exercise to do after the press, whether that's with a bench press, with a barbell, dumbbells, or using cables. The same applies for flies. You can use dumbbells or kettlebells, as you've seen, as an alternative, or cables. Now, I like switching them up. One workout I might use dumbbells, barbells, the other I use cables. Therefore, I always have some level of muscle confusion in my workout. My body never fully adapts to the workout that I'm doing. Even though I may be doing the same style of workout week in, week out, I'm always changing some form of variable, whether it's the weight, the grip, the rest period, the tempo, the angle, the line of pull. So many things that I'm changing, which is why you need to keep a record of your training that you do each day or each week, so that you can see what you did last time and how you can change it. It's also important psychologically to see progression on paper. It's one thing seeing your body change and seeing you lift heavier weights, But if you have that down on paper and you can see the weight or the workout that you did last time, you have something to try and better, progress. And that is the key here, progression. If you're not progressing forwards, if you're not making advancements in your workout, you're not changing. And if you're not changing, you're not going to see any difference, and it's going to dishearten you to continue your workouts. Okay, let's move on. Next, let's go on to shoulders. Follow me.